Bet you thought I was done with Doctor Who. Well, I'm back. The reason why I'm back, ladies and gents, is we've got all of the data now for the entirety of the season. That's it. We've got the whole data set. We didn't have it before. We had the overnight data. We didn't have the +7 plus BBC iPlayer data set. We've got it all now, so I thought it was worthwhile recapping the whole show, taking a look at how it did, whether it was good, whether it was bad, and I guess just predictions for things to come. It's interesting. The raw data has been very, very interesting to take a look at on a week-by-week basis. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, actually. It's been one of my most enjoyable videos to make on a week-by-week basis, and I will miss it until the special, and then until the next season, and then maybe it'll get cancelled. Who knows? We'll see. So hit subscribe if you're new here. Do turn the bell notifications on. And if you like this video as we go through it, please do give that thumbs up button and share it as well. But anyway, let's take a look. Okay, so I get all the data from Doctor Who TV. They are a fantastic resource for this information. Please do go and check them out, I guess, doctorwhotv.co.uk. They're very, very good. They've been regularly updating all of the information just, week by week. Great resource. They're pretty much the only source of all of this information on the internet. Even the likes of Radio Times cites Doctor Who TV. Everyone else cites Doctor Who TV. They are the go-to. So I've been looking at these, week by week. And they always start with this, the quick guide. And I always take a look at this and I always talk about it because it's important. So what is on their table? Overnight TV ratings. Those only include the watched it live and those who recorded and watched it later that night. +7 consolidated is kind of what it sounds like. It's those who recorded and watched it within a week. +4 means that it is the final consolidated figures taken into account viewers on tablets, PCs and smartphones. Live Plus is basically iPlayer. That's essentially what that is, right? And that's the sort of big take home from this is that final figure, the end of the table, which I'll show you, should be really, really high because that's been what people are falling back on as their argument as to how this is a successful show. It's not. Objectively, it's not. And then there's also this, the Audience Appreciation Index. Now, what that is a score out of 100, and it's used as an indicator of the public's appreciation for a show. Over 90 is exceptional, 85 is excellent, 60 or less is poor, and less than 55 is very poor. Now, I always read this out, but just to clarify once again, the BBC have not revealed the Audience Appreciation Index for Doctor Who. In the 20 years that Doctor Who TV have been running this channel and getting figures from the BBC, 20 years, 2 decades they've been doing it, they have never had the BBC stop them from having those figures. This season, something changed, and I spoke with Doctor Who TV about this. Something has changed this season, just this season, randomly. I wonder what it could be. What changed? What could it be? Riddle-dee-dee. What could it be? I have no idea. You let me know down below. But basically, the BBC have refused to let Doctor Who TV know what the audience thinks of the show. Now, I'm not going to sort of keep you for too long. Let's just get right to it. So here are all of the figures. Okay. Now, the only thing we are missing out on here, it doesn't really matter, to be fair, is this figure for episode 8, which is the +7 TV only. Now, actually, we can extrapolate from the other figures what that likely is going to be. It's not going to be that much. It'll be about 1 million. It will be about 1 million. Okay? But, it's interesting, isn't it? You're taking a look at these things. And these figures are all over the place. Absolutely all over the place. Now, some people like to, and we'll look at the figures a little bit more in a minute, but some people like to compare Doctor Who to other TV programs on air at the same time, which strictly speaking, actually isn't a fair comparison, and I'll explain why. Is because Doctor Who, with only 8 episodes, should be an event. It should be a yearly event. It should be. It's not, unless that event is sticking needles in your eyes. But it should be an event, so you can't technically compare it to the standard soap opera that's on TV during the day, or during the normal sort of peak hour time that this is on. Okay, like the EastEnders, like soap operas, whatever they're called. So Coronation Street, all these kind of things. You can't compare it, actually. It's incomparable. It's not a fair comparison. You should be comparing it to other big event sort of series and shows. And one of the bigger things to compare it to would have been that stupid I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, or whatever it was. There was something else on around the time as well. These kind of shows are the things you should be comparing it to, because those are events. 8-episode limited events. But the figures are shit. There's no two ways about it. The figures are terrible. Episode 8, 2.25 million, and only managing to scrape via iPlayer as well 3.69 million. It's appalling. It's genuinely appalling. And we see this really big drop off week on, week out. Some spikes here and there. Funnily enough, when the Doctor wasn't actually in it, episode 4. And then we get a subtle spike at the end. Yeah, it goes up a little bit. Not that much. Not as much as you'd think, actually. And there's been this really weird and consistent 400,000 sort of viewers on BBC iPlayer. Like 500,000 or so, which is weirdly consistent if you're looking at it all. This one, not so much. Yeah, it's 300,000. Oh, the majority are actually 300,000, sorry. This was about 400,000. So this one as well, you could probably look at that and say it's going to be around TBC, plus 7 TV only, etc. Would be around the 3.3 mark, 3.3 million. So these figures suck. They're really, really bad. The state of Doctor Who is abysmal, woeful. 27%, it's not really changed. People, will have you believe that it's all review bombing, but it's not. It's not at all. You look at this, you say, I understand the desire to update Doctor Who and keep the character fresh. I was all in favour of bringing in a Doctor of colour, but the choice they made does not resonate with me at all, to be honest. Doctor Who started fading for me midway through the 12th Doctor, but I've stuck with it anyway. Shooty's a fine actor, but put in the right role, and this isn't. Plus they've killed it with the hard... What was this going to say? Let's have a look, shall we? The hardcore messaging. I just want to be entertained. The 9th and 10th and 11th Doctors did this really well. I don't know anyone that found fault with those shows. Why not give fans what they want? This is true. There are some people that liked it, but look, the majority of people don't like it. It's bad ratings. These ratings are objectively bad on every level. So much so you've then got politicians in the UK ripping on it as well. Highly comical. So what I like about this data set, right, and mark my words, come back next year and come back actually when the special launches, because what's interesting here is now we've got data to work with. Some people would have stayed, okay, throughout this whole series because they wanted the storyline completed. All right, make no mistake, people do that. So they would have stayed the entirety of the show just to see the storyline completed. Now, was it satisfactory? Not from reviews, no. People are really not very happy with how those narratives wrap themselves up. Excuse me, frog in my throat. So, now having a reference point, data-wise, as well as narrative-wise, for the next season, mark my words, this will drop even lower. This will drop even lower. It's going to get real bad next year. And I think even the special will be bad. So, what do you guys think? I'd love to hear it. Let me know down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. If you like what I do here, support me further, because I do get demonetized. So check out my Patreon. It's linked down below. Take care. Bye-bye now.